So yeah, here we are again. Another world tour for 2021. It's been approximately 3,500 days of playing in this world. It's been quite a while since a world tour. The new Caves and Cliffs update, part 2, is right around the corner, so perfect timing to do a world tour before all of the caves change and I have to expand and redo everything and light up the caves. It's gonna be fun. So it's like the perfect time right now to do a world tour, so yeah, let's just get right into it. The base has changed and the world quite a bit. I've remodeled a lot of stuff. That's mostly what my time's been spent on playing this world. Just like fixing up things, finishing projects that I, completed halfway and just kind of never bothered to finish. And then there's also some other stuff that's really cool that I've built. So I just want to show it all off in this world tour. So let's just start back off here. Minor changes as I'm going around. You'll probably notice this area. Nothing's much has really changed. This is the starting area where I pretty much spend most of my time in this base. It's just like a basic storage system. This is like one of the first things I started building. This is kind of like a more open room. Down here we have a little slime. We also have a furnace array that is automatic. You just put just like whatever you want, what you want to cook, and it goes up there. You put a fuel source if these furnaces aren't already filled up, and then if this isn't going around already, you just hit the button and it should start filling these up, and it'll go all the way around. If it has enough, it'll reach the end, and after it's done cooking, it goes into this chest, which we'll see in a second once it's done cooking. And there we go. Yeah, so cooked chicken coming out right now. That's pretty efficient. It's a nice easy way just to put a bunch of stuff in there and just let it do its thing for a while. If we come up here, you can also notice I've put like these moss carpet things down, which is really nice for lighting. And we got this secret enchanting room in here. Haven't used it a whole lot. I got just some storage for books. And then this is like an XP thing. Doesn't work great. It doesn't give you a whole lot of XP, but it's a little something if you want. But villager trading is pretty much 100 times better, so I really don't use that. And over here we have a AFK fish farm that doesn't work. This was like one of the first things I built back in 1.16 they patched it. Good way to get XP, just AFKing overnight and getting books and stuff. Even if this still worked, I probably wouldn't use it just because I can get villagers mending books and stuff like that from villagers. But it's a cute little build, so I just don't take it down. Let's see, we got a nice pond right here. Let's start with this way. If we go up here, we got a nice world map, some teasers of some stuff I've built. We got a hallway right here, and then we come out here. This is the main nether portal that comes in and out of my base. We did this on a live stream a while ago. It's like a nice amethyst, whatever they're called, geodes, over here, and I think it's nighttime, which is perfect timing. We have the bedroom. This is where I sleep, and we got a little tune when we go to bed. Which is nice. There's some note blocks under here. Just plays like a little tune. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we got a cocoa powder farm, or just a cocoa bean farm. And it's just, a little farm, but over time it adds up if I ever need brown dye or something. And this is probably one of the biggest remodels I did. This is probably my favorite build in this base, like in the cave. I really like just the brick and the books and stuff. We got, the villagers down here breeding up, and then we have all of these villagers that we can trade with, and they're all like minimum just one book, one emerald for trades and stuff, which is really nice because it makes everything cheap. How to zombify all of them. And over here we have guys that are trading for golden carrots, because you might notice that I'm eating golden carrots now as like a food source. So you just, I get emeralds from other stuff, and then I just trade for golden carrots instead of, using gold farm and getting carrots and stuff, because it's just easier to do this way, in my opinion. I just really like the leaves and just how this came together. If you watch the old world tour, this thing was a disaster. It was probably the ugliest build I had. Really like how it turned out. And if we go up this way, let's go up here first. We have a nether wart farm. You know, I really like this build also. It was kind of annoying trying to combine this like purple and red together, but I think I pulled it off. And then if you want to farm it, you just step on this pressure plate and it destroys all of them, and it goes into that center hole down there, and then you just go and collect all of them, and you just have to replant them also, because there's no way to like actually dispense them on the ground. We go down here. This is a new extension of the cave. We have a little farm just for these glow berries. You know, it's just a little farm, nothing much. Just gets the job done if we ever need some. Works pretty good. Just, you know, it's not too complicated to make a farm for them. We got some foxes here that I had above ground. I just moved them down here. And over here we have like a record playing area. We have all of the records in the game currently until next update. And you just put a disc in, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Yep. And it's just a nice like room for a collection of music discs. And I'm proud of myself, I predicted that they were going to release more music discs with each update, so I made space for some more. And then there's nothing really down this way, it's just empty. And then coming over this way, there's this really cool like bridge stairway thing. Yeah, it makes like a cool tune, and it's like piston activated. I can't remember who I found this from. It's somebody on TikTok. It's like a TikTok creator who made this. If I can figure out who it was, I'll link it in the description or something. This is the slime farm, as you guys remember from last World Tour. I just finished it up, you know, have slime dangling from the ceiling with sea lanterns. And then there's a way to get down and up. You can also fly down. And we also have a dripstone farm that, you know, it works good enough. We built this on stream also, and it was really ugly, and I decided I'd finish it, and I actually did for once. And then the slimes, you know, are down here. You collect them. And this nice little carpet I like. This is a pretty unique design in my base, just because it's using a lot of greens, and there's not a whole lot of options when it comes to greens, so you kind of have to be creative with how you build with them. But I think I pulled it off, you know, especially with like the melon and the kelp blocks. Those are like weird blocks you wouldn't think about building, but they actually look pretty good contrasting with each other. We have a turtle farm. Nothing's really changed over here. Once you get a scoot or a helmet, whatever it's called, you really just don't need turtles anymore. I really haven't worked on this much. And then we have a basalt farm. It's pretty much like a cobble generator. It's just a little basalt if you need any. I don't really use it too much because I don't use basalt. Down here we have a nice little area. Nothing much down here, just random chests and just like stuff that I'm working on. And then we come back this way. Let's go back the other way. So going through the center of this base where I'm mostly at. This is one of the things I finally finished for the longest time, just because I don't know why, I just never finished it. It's basically just a flower farm. In this biome, you actually get quite a lot of flowers. You get 5 different flowers plus seeds, which is a lot more than I was expecting. So you just dump, you know, your bone meal in here, and then when you want to turn on the farm, you click the lever. It's pretty loud also. And yeah, you collect the flowers. There's no like water system that puts them into a hopper or whatever. You just come around and collect them all, just because I was working with limited space because the brewing area is over here. And actually no, the melon area is. There was pistons on this wall and I was limited in space. And this was a pumpkin and melon farm, but when I was building that slime farm I needed the melons more, so I just took out all the pumpkins. It works pretty well, you know, it's just collecting pumpkins over time works pretty good. I like the design, you know, it's a simple build. Then we got a fox farm it's a berry farm, just uses foxes. This is like the only purpose I have for foxes really, and they just collect the berries, and then there's a hopper minecart below that brings them up here. And this is the brewing system. You pretty much have like, I think it's 9. Yeah, there's 9 potions you could choose from here, and you just click whichever one you want. Let's say let's say night vision. Then you can hear the droppers dispensing them, and they should make their way in here, and they're all the ingredients in the correct order. And say we want to make it 8 minutes, so we just add duration, or if it was something that could be enhanced by a level, like harming, you know, you could click this one, or if you want to make it a splash potion, you could click that. So just a really convenient way, instead of having to look up and just gather resources every time you want to make a potion, just automatically do it. You know, with this is probably the craziest thing I built with redstone, just because It was a really cramped space, and it was just really difficult to figure out where the wiring was going, especially right here. But I'm really proud of this redstone area. And then over here we have pretty much the ultimate flex room, a diamond door, and then this is my diamond vault stash. I remember last time I didn't have a whole lot of diamonds back here. It's pretty hollow in the back, but it's starting to beef up, you know. I really like this build with the quartz. The quartz honestly was the most expensive part because I don't have any quartz in this world, and going around the nether collecting quartz is kind of annoying. Then we can go down this way. There's two ways to get down here. We'll just go down here. Down here is just a strip mine that I don't use anymore. It's blocked off just because I'm pretty sure mobs were coming through these tunnels and then coming into my base, so I just blocked it off so I didn't have to worry about that. And then we have a kelp farm over here, so you just dispense bone meal. Let's put a little bit in. It goes in super quick. You pull the lever and then it just automatically grows and breaks it, and it goes all the way into here. It's a nice little farm just to get a bunch of kelp. And we have a chicken farm over here I almost missed. It's a nice way to just get feathers. Pretty much you don't really need the cooked chicken if you already have a good food source, but the feathers are very useful for like the one or two niche things you need feathers for, just to have it in my world. And then here we got the wool farm. This is probably like one of the most convenient ways I get emeralds, just because the last colors over here you can trade for emeralds with villagers, and since you get a lot over time just by having the farm running, it's a really easy way to get emeralds. And then you trade with these guys, and they're also zombified, so the prices are pretty cheap, and you can get the most amount of emeralds for the least amount of wool to make it as efficient as possible. And then we just store the wool here, that's excess. Down here we have a bee farm. I swear there were bees in here. Apparently in 1.17.1 there's a bug where bees just disappear, which is a pretty big bug. And I built this in 1.17 and then I updated and they were all gone. I didn't notice until a few days ago when I was looking around this world. But we got a good amount of just honeycomb and then honey bottles from this, so I think we'll be all set for a while, just because honey is kind of like a niche block I don't really use a lot. But next update, hopefully it'll be fixed and I'll replenish these guys. And we have this was for an old video from the beginning of this year. We collected one block, like every single block in the game. I was gonna do a part 2 where I found every item, never got around to it. And there's bees in here. I don't think I can see that through that door, but if I open this door, like a million bees are gonna fly out, so I don't want to, because I had to put the bees here and wait for them to grow up and do stuff, and then I put them in here, so that was just a temporary area. We have a cactus farm. It's just like a few cacti, and then they just break, and over time it works pretty decent. This is like one of the first builds I've done, and I just have never changed it since. Eventually I'll make a better cactus farm, but you don't really need a whole lot of cacti, just for the green dye. So I think we're all set in the cave area of the world. I'm pretty sure I showed off everything so far, so now it's time to go to the above ground area of my world spawn. I've definitely improved a lot. I've added more stuff to this area, just give it, because when I first started this world, I just had, the cave down there, and that was pretty much it, so I wanted to start building stuff up here, and it's definitely come a long way. I'm still building more and more stuff, but let's just start with the iron farm. So this is probably one of the most efficient and one of the best iron farm, or just one of the best farms in my world, just because it runs all the time since it's right next to spawn, and iron is a pretty valuable resource to have. So you just got 4 separate, let's go through here. There's 4 like iron killing things, and there's a zombie that scares the villagers, and of course the zombies cause the iron golems to spawn, and they fall in lava, and you get the iron. And you also get roses too, which are pretty nice. Let's go over here. We have a coarse fruit farm. This one you need a bow and arrow, and you shoot the flowers so that you can replant them. And once you've shot enough, just for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna show it off now instead of harvesting all the flowers, and water just comes down through here and collects all of them into the hoppers, and then they come back up and go into here. It's a pretty nice farm. I don't really use these types of blocks, especially what is this? Oh, hello creeper. Let's walk away from that. It's like an end block. I forget what it's called, but it's really ugly. But I think I pulled it off in this build. This is a kind of like a cool thing I built. It's like what block is this called? Amethyst block. I wanted to make like trees out of amethyst. I thought that would look cool. I might have seen it from somewhere. And I also wanted like kind of like a snowy biome in my world. But the plan for this is hopefully there's an amethyst geode down below under my world when I get new chunks in the next update. So I'll put like a building here that goes straight down to a geode. But if not, this build still looks cool and it adds some stuff to the world. Over here we have a tree farm because up until recently I didn't have an actual tree farm that I used. I would just, you know, kind of plant spruce trees down randomly and then just use TNT to blow them up at a time. So this is like all 6 types of woods. There's also hoppers under all of this moss carpet, so it's an efficient way. You know, you can leave this area and then you'll have all the saplings fall down and be collected. You don't have to worry about them despawning, so it's pretty efficient. There's a few spots where they'll land and despawn, but they still get collected most of the time. And this project really killed my iron resources because it was a lot of iron for all those hoppers. And we have the village over here. I just renovated a village that was at spawn here, and I think the maximum capacity is 102. So there can be 102 villagers in here at full capacity unless some of them die. It has a lot of iron golems, so I think they mostly won't die. Every once in a while there's a villager on a roof or something, which I don't know how it happens, but I just don't question it at this point. And we got some mushroom cows here. They were originally located like over here. I just moved them over here because it looked nice and they were kind of cluttery. So this is a sugarcane farm despite being like 90% wheat. It's we originally had a sugarcane farm right here. It was like a stone, you know, very basic build. I moved it over here and it's a bit smaller now, but it collects a good amount of sugarcane still. And I already have a lot of sugarcane in this world and I don't use a whole lot of it. Despite using rockets, I just don't need that much, so I'm fine with this being a little bit smaller. If it means it's a nicer build, you know. And then we got the on-off switch. So any second now this should turn on and I'll start harvesting all of this. Oh, and there it goes. So the timer went off and it's gonna come back after once it reaches the end. And then there's also, you know, a minecart down below that collects all of it and then brings it up into here. It's a nice little system. You just have to make sure that you flick it off when you leave, or else it might get stuck in like when it's coming back and forth, just because you'll unload the chunks and it'll like glitch out. And over here we have this old base. This was the starter base in this world. This was the first thing that I built in this world, and I've pretty much looted it and stripped it for all of its resources because I moved over to my cave down there. This was another AFK fish farm. And there was just kind of like random stuff around here, you know, just starter stuff. I might remodel this or do something with it eventually, but for now I just don't have the heart to tear it down. Then right here we have probably like one of the most iconic builds in this spawn area. You know, we got this creeper up here, the creeper statue, and there's a creeper farm inside its like torso and area. And the creepers drop down here onto the soulfire camps, and they drop gunpowder. It works the most efficient when you're all the way up in the head because you're unloading all of the spawn chunks down below and all of that. And they drop a pretty good amount of gunpowder, even if you're not like AFKing overnight up here. So just over time, and you know, I collect the gunpowder and it adds up. So if you want to come up here, or you need a lot of gunpowder, just come up here. And I made this area like out of basalt just so it's a nice dark color if I want to AFK overnight. You got a nice glass window so you can see spawn, and then you just go through here to escape. I also wanted to like texture it with like different blocks, and I might like deform it a little and make it kind of broken down. And I also need to redo this mountain just because it kind of comes out of nowhere, but I just hate texturing and terraforming, so I've just kind of procrastinated it. We got a pond over here. I've added a conduit and I've kind of just like textured it up. We also got axolotls. We got a ton of axolotls. I've been starting to breed, trying to get the blue one, the really rare one. So it's a pain because I have to every time go and get these like tropical fish buckets and breed them, so it's gonna be a pretty long time before I get a bluefish. I also want to add like a sea pickle farm or something in here, something else to do. Over here we have my temple for storage. It's a temple storage system type thing. You know, you just, it's automatic also, so you say you want to dispose this podzol right here. You just throw the podzol in here, and then it goes, you can look through here, it goes all the way up through the hoppers, and eventually it should make its way to the podzol chest. And you can see right there, it's going through the hoppers and coming into the podzol chest. So it's really convenient just to come over here, dump out, you know, a bunch of stuff I have in my inventory and let it sort itself out. If it's something that can't be sorted, it goes to one of these chests. I think it might be, I think it's this one, yeah. Or it's like one of the last few ones, I think. I think it's like these 3 or something it'll go to. But I'm running out of space for new blocks, so I'm probably going to have to expand this at one point. And maybe I could do something up here because it's not really finished yet. Oh, and yeah, one other thing, like the main spawn area also, you know, you got all the 1,000 trees that I planted. That's something I should remember I have in this world. But it was my first video, as you guys remember. I had 1,000 trees, and every tree, someone's name's on it, and I planted them all and put a name down. I'm probably gonna make this area nicer. Maybe, you know, I might do something eventually where I add more trees just because I made this area a little bit too big. Over here we have some new area of spawn. We have this like flat testing area that I built. Really just a simple build. It's just a flat area where if I want to build something to test it out or do something like that, you know, I can do that. But the real reason this exists is because I just want an excuse to use this like caution tape design. I think it looks pretty cool with the concrete. And we have a horse racing track also. I really liked how this track turned out. You got the stables right here with all of the horses, so I moved them from over there at spawn. I got the skeleton horses here too. Eventually I'm going to try and breed them up and find like the fastest horse possible. And we got, you know, moss and what is this, powdered concrete powder. So I made it kind of like a nice lawn pattern here. And there's like a stand right here, you know, if you want to watch the races. There was also, the whole point of this build also was to have it so it times the horses to see how fast they are. And I was just going to be like, oh, you know, that's the functional purpose of this. But I never got around to doing that. I just kind of gave up on this build. I got kind of bored and I wanted to do something else. But eventually I'll return to this and finish it. We also have some boats full of like random mobs. It was during the Halloween event this year. I wanted to get some rare... no, please don't shoot the rare mob that you can only get once a year. Oh my god. Thank god that had more hearts. But there's a few boats around here that have like jack-o'-lantern mobs that are you can only get once a year. I'm eventually going to move them somewhere. One other thing I have over here, it's the strip mining area. I kind of just made a nice hole entrance to get down here with the beacon through the center, and this is where I pretty much just get all my stone and diamonds and stuff. I have done quite a lot of digging in this area, which is pretty impressive, with a bunch of haste tube beacons. Nothing really to look at, but just wanted to show that off. Oh yeah, and then I keep forgetting about this build. You guys were asking about it last year when I was doing the world tour. Some of you mentioned that I left this area out. This was originally supposed to be the cave entrance to my base. I wanted to, instead having like natural caves, I wanted to make it all man-made and like dig out tunnels. It was definitely going to take a much longer time, and I just kind of abandoned it and made a new area where I wanted to build my cave base. But I came back to this and I wanted to turn it into like a museum or something. I never really finished the project down here. Eventually I think I'll finish it, but for now it's just kind of like 3 things. It was originally a sugarcane farm that was really inefficient, and it's been like transformed and gutted out like so many times. I've just given up on this area, but that's pretty much what this area is. And I think that covers everything in this area, the spawn. So I think we're gonna go into the Nether next and go through all the portals and see what else I have. Yep, and going through the portal leads us to the Nether Hub, if it loads. There we go. So I have my Nether Hub above spawn, above the bedrock, which is really convenient so I don't have to dig out tunnels. The spawn's pretty much the same, except I have paths now to where all of the portals are, which is really nice. It keeps everything organized and helps me figure out where everything is quicker. So let's just start off with one of the few builds I have up here. This is the gold farm I have. I've showed it off last year. Literally nothing's changed. I need to eventually put a roof over this and finish the bartering system here. They drop down here. There's turtle eggs that they're attracted to, and they drop down here. And you can one-hit them with the sharp 5 sword. just like this, and they drop gold, of course. And yeah, it's a good XP farm also. I've been using this more than my Enderman farm just because I need the gold more, and it's closer, which is really convenient. And there's villagers here that you can trade the zombie flesh for, and these pigman guy that I'm eventually going to put into a bartering system once I get around to it. I guess we'll also show really quick the old gold farm. This was the first one I built over here. It's a lot smaller and a lot less efficient. So you go through here and it's really slow. It's the same concept really with the egg at the top, and then the gold goes into here once you're finished. This one does have a bartering system, so this is actually where I do my bartering right now. And it goes into the chests, you know, all the loot and stuff. It's just one dude, so it's not that efficient. And then we have this road over here, which is a squid farm and a guardian farm. We'll start off with the squid farm right here, just because it's closer. So we got a squid farm right here. It's just a bunch of water columns that squids spawn in. Because there's no rivers, I drained all the rivers nearby. They drop down to their death, and there's a hopper minecart below that collects all of the loot. And they get collected into here. And the reason why I built the squid farm, which you'll see in a second, was because of the guardian farm. Because you need prismarine, dark prismarine or something, and you need the dark black ink or whatever to make it. So I realized I needed to build the squid farm also to get those blocks. We got the guardian farm right here. This is a really impressive build that took a while. Just draining it was a pain. Using sand and sponges to clear out the water. And I built it in this like Arctic ocean, so I wanted to give it like a snowy, cold theme to it, which is why I put the snow down here. And this is where it collects all of the prismarine. You get cod too, you know, so that's nice. And there's the chests that you put all the building blocks. And since it's a snow base, I also put snowmen here. You can get snowballs if you're using the right shovel. You just go all the way up here, and they spawn in that like tube of water, and then the magma pulls them down and they die. And yeah, it's a pretty efficient design, which was nice. It was pretty easy to actually build it. It just took a while, but yeah, it took me. I was procrastinating building a guardian farm for the longest time just because I knew how much it was going to take to drain. But the sea lanterns are definitely worth it for this build. And then down this road, coming back to the spawn area, we have a few things on this road. First off is the skeleton farm, which I showed off last world tour also. And this is just like small little design, just for getting bones, you know, until I eventually build a wither farm, which spoiler alert, I never finished. But this is the main way I get bones pretty much from this world. They get dispensed up here and then go into the chests down here. And it's a really cool design. It's like a rib cage. And since it was built on bedrock level, I had to, you know, compensate and work with the bedrock. So I kind of made this cool little design with glass. And then there's just an enchantment room in here if I want to enchant stuff. But it's a nice little design that I kind of like. And then going down here, we have the pork farm. This used to be the food source that I would use. I'd use pork chops as a food source, and I would just use the hoglins. I would just AFK above the nether where the crimson forest is in the nether right here, and then they would just spawn in and go into the lava and cook themselves. Let's see if we can get any to spawn. Yeah, they spawn pretty efficiently too, and it's a really easy build if you want to use pork chops as your food source. And then they would go down here and you would collect all of it. You also get leather, which is nice. And yeah, but I don't really use this farm anymore, so I haven't been over here in a while. Then going through this portal, we have a snow base out in the snow area. We have like an ice farm, and we also have cauldrons set up for the powdered snow, just because before the update there was no way to actually get it because it doesn't spawn naturally in the world. And I haven't even gotten powdered snow yet from this farm, just because it takes so long for the cauldrons to fill up with snow. So I'll probably have powdered snow when the update drops before this farm actually finishes working. And you just come over here and there's, you know, there's buckets for the powdered snow. Then down this path we have the wither farm. It's a few thousand blocks out, so I will be there in a second. And here we go, a few thousand blocks out. Takes a few minutes to fly over here. It's always a pain to come over this way. We just go down this bedrock hole. It's kind of like a sketchy area to come down, but the wither farm is right here. I slabbed up this entire area, and they drop down here. This is a pretty much kind of like a makeshift wither farm. You got some unconventional methods of using it. I'll explain my reasons in a second for that. But it's a pretty decent way to get wither skulls, but I definitely want to make a new wither farm just to make it more efficient, since there's a basalt biome nearby and that's eating up the spawn rates. I need to build it so it's like 100% in a soul sand valley. Because of that, I have this like piston thing where you go into the minecart if it doesn't break, like that, and then it goes into the hole. You get in it, and the working theory I have, and I swear it works, is that you're going up and down, so you're unloading and reloading new chunks, so it's constantly trying to spawn in new entities. So it's better than just standing around, because if you're just standing, you know, nothing new is going to try and spawn in, or nothing new old is going to try and despawn. So that, I'm pretty confident it works, because you just saw right there, new wither skull skeletons spawned in. But this whole thing is really ugly and it doesn't work the best, which is why I need to make a new one, which this is already my second one because the first one didn't work out too well. So definitely been procrastinating making a new one, so hopefully in the future I'll have a final one that looks nice and works really well. And I think that's pretty much it for the Nether Hub, all of the locations around the world. There's just one more spot, which is the end dimension I want to go and check out, which is down here. And here we are in the end. So the spawning platform is pretty much the same. We'll head over to that other area in a second. So this is the Enderman farm. Has not changed whatsoever. I think I added some beacons, maybe, I don't remember, but this is a pretty good way to get XP in my world, and ender pearls, of course. We got, you know, some enchanting area and books, and you know, just sit here and kill the enderman. There wasn't a problem with this farm for a while where the enderman kept dying. I think I moved the trapdoors around and it should work now, hopefully, but that was a problem I was having, and I just kind of ended up using the gold farm because I didn't really want to keep fixing it. But this has been a farm that's probably been around in my world for the longest, just because it's, you know, one of the first farms you built after you defeat the ender dragon and you want to upgrade all your armor. But coming over here, you can see I have definitely changed the end. I've lit up every single block in the spawn island, and I put beacons around every single portal. It makes like a cool rainbow pattern, which looks really cool when you fly around. And it's like a mushroom theme, just kind of like a space mushroom island. I thought that'd be really unique and cool. I also want to bring over some like mushroom cows and just have them kind of roam around. I think that'd be cool. But it's just kind of an aesthetic thing that I wanted to do, because before the end was kind of like at spawn here, kind of just like dark and depressing. Definitely brings some life and just, you know, brightens everything up, literally. And we have a wither cage farm thing here. Hasn't really changed. This is where I kill also my withers instead of actually fighting them. You know, I just chicken out and I just grind them here below the portal where they can't escape. But that's pretty much it, I think. We spawn here, of course. I think that's pretty much it for the world tour. So yeah, that officially concludes this year's world tour. 3,500 days in, and hopefully we're going to continue going. Get to 5,000 days maybe next year. Who knows? A few things that I have to mention before I go. Last year I provided a download link with the world. I don't think I'm going to be doing it this year. It might change. I might eventually provide a download link in the description. But last year there were some issues with people downloading it. The link kept breaking, and it was just kind of a headache to keep fixing it and making sure that the link worked for everyone. There's also some things I'm not ready to show off in this world, some projects I'm working on, and I don't want it to be spoiled by people going into this world and finding it. So for now, I won't put a download link, but if that changes, if you go down and you see a link, then maybe I changed my mind. But hopefully you guys aren't upset. There is last year's link for the world tour. I don't know if it still works. There was, like I said, issues with it. It's also been quite a while since I've uploaded, since like March or something. Hopefully continuing going forward now, maybe, you know, I could start uploading more often in the future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the world. I've definitely been working, I haven't been uploading a whole lot of videos, but I have still been playing on this world, like, constantly pretty much. But yeah, thank you guys all for the amazing support as usual, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.